I'm going to show you the basics on how to get started hacking so that you can handle any Linux system that comes your way. Not really, but almost any Linux system. This is Over the Wire. So, Over the Wire is an organization that has put together a bunch of different war games. Now, if you haven't gone out and looked, one of the best ways you can get your hacking experience under your belt is to go do capture the flags, like Over the Wire, or Hack the Box, or even Try Hack Me. There are a lot of free versions of those websites. They have free boxes and things that you can practice on. You can also pay for membership to get access to other boxes and things to try on. Hack the Box even has an academy with their own certifications. You can go through all of their different learning modules, exercises, boxes that are attached to it, and you can actually take the exam and get your own certification. But Over the Wire is free. Bandit is free. Bandit is what we're going to be practicing on. You can find a lot of write-ups on Medium and other websites about Bandit. And basically what I'm going to do is show you live how to go through Bandit. And it's really simple. You just go to overthewire.org/wargames, and they even give you a suggested order to play the games in. And that's great. So Linux and Unix, I cannot stress how important this is. I've written articles about why Linux is important. There are amazing books out there. Occupy the Web has got Linux Basics for Hackers. It's a book I strongly recommend. I've read through it. I'm about to read through the second edition that Occupy the Web just released. But Linux is the bread and butter of where a lot of cybersecurity professionals and ethical hackers just spend a lot of their time. So if you're interested in pen testing, if you're interested in ethical hacking, if you're interested in performing heists and breaking into things in order to keep people safe, this is where you start. And you got to understand how to use Linux. So really, we start with Bandit right here. We start with level 0, and they've got everything right here. It's for absolute beginners, and it will teach you the basics, which will help you understand how to play other war games too. Capture the flags are great, and capture the flags are a great thing, not only to keep your skills sharp, but also just to take part in, to, show off some of your skills and show your, potential employers what you can do. So the big thing here is that this is going to be done through SSH, and you can see here I've kind of got it cut off a little bit, but we've got the SSH information. So that is the port, and that is the host that we have to connect to via SSH in order to get started on Bandit. So this introduction page has got all the different things that you need to know about Bandit. It talks about, how to start, where you can look for hints and tips, because this is to help you learn. These are exercises to help you learn. And I'll tell you, one of the best things I did was learn how to use search engines. It's talked about in almost every cybersecurity course I've taken. It's talked about, even Vicky Lee, who wrote the bug bounty, cookbook, bug bounty boot camp book, talks about how to use Google dorking to find things for bug bounties. Search engines are going to be your best friend, because oftentimes you're going to come across things that you don't know, you don't understand, and you've got to be able to research it. So, but right here, let's say we get to level 7 or level 6 and we have to stop. We can go back here and it'll show us how to get from level 5 to level 6. Okay. But essentially what we're going to do, we're going to connect via SSH and just start playing around. Okay. So we're in our terminal. Let's go ahead and connect. We know that we're using SSH, and we know we're using port 2220. Whoops. So you get to see all the mistakes I make. And we're going to connect to bandit.labs.overthewire.org. Yes. Excellent. We are in. You're trying to log into the stage server import. That's the Bandit game. Okay. So that's cleared out. See, I already made a mistake and we're already at level 0. So you're supposed to click on the page level 0 on where to get started, and it gives you the username and the password so that you can log in, and then you go from level 0 to level 1 and so on and so forth. So essentially, the first things first is figuring out, and on Bandit level 0, it's great because they've got helpful reading material on how to look into SSH and stuff. But basically, when you do SSH, you got to do SSH dash P for port. We know we're doing 2220. The username, which they gave us, is bandit0 at, and then the host, which is bandit dot, whoops, labs dot over the wire.org. There we go. There we go. And then the password is bandit0. If it doesn't work at first, just try it again. And we are in. Look at that. And look at that. It's giving us all kinds of stuff for over the wire. Okay. Great tips and hints. How to play the games, rules. Okay. That's good to know. Don't post spoilers. It's a 64-bit processor. That's good to know. All right. This is great. We have all the information that we need so far. So, level 0 to level 1. As I move here, so I need to go ahead and click on level 0 to level 1. Let me show you the screen real quick. There we go. Okay. So it tells us the goal. It tells us where the password for the next level is stored. All right. It's in the home directory, and you have to use that password to log into Bandit1, which is the username, using SSH. And it's cut off to the side here, but it's the same SSH on port 2220 to log into that level to continue the game. And it even gives us commands that we may need. And it gives us a tip. Create a file for notes and passwords on your local machine. Gotcha. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire up another instance of Kali Linux on a terminal, and we're just going to start a local note taking. All right, so I'm in my Kali Linux instance, and I've made a directory that's over the wire. I'm going to go ahead and use nano because I like it, and just create notes.txt. Here we go. And this is where we are going to keep our notes moving forward. Okay, so first things first, whenever I'm in a new Linux environment, whether I've hacked in or playing these capture the flags, I like to use the command ls, okay? ls lists all the files and directories where we are. And right there, we have readme. Now, if I do the argument ls-lah, okay, so that gives us a lot more information. That gives us the read, write, execute permissions. It lets us know when it was created. It lets us know the name, and it also shows hidden meetings. As far as the H goes, that puts the file size or directory size in a human readable format. And this is a long listing, and A also gives us all the hidden files that we didn't see when we did ls. So let's use cat, which stands for concatenate. That shows us what is in a file, and let's cat the readme. Congratulations. First steps into the Bandit game. Okay. So that's the password we're looking for. So I'm just going to highlight that and copy it. All right. Going to right click, save that in there. And there we go. There's our first note. And that is going to be, actually, let's go back up here, do that, and go for, this is level 1. All right. So now what we're going to do is log back out. If I can figure this out. Okay, so we're going to log back out. And then we're going to SSH, again, port 2220. But this time it's going to be Bandit1, because that's what level 0 to level 1 told us to do, at bandit.labs.overthewire.org. It should ask us for a password. Just pasted the password. There we go. Now we are in level 1. All right, so we're going to go back over to the page, see what it takes to get from level 1 to level 2. Okay, so Level 1 to level 2, it's stored in a file called dash, which is located in the home directory. Gives us the commands that we may need to find it, and then helpful reading material. So a Google search for a dashed file name. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and check that out. What does it mean to have a dashed file? Whoops, dashed file name in Linux? Let's see what it says here. They're standard and commonly used for readability. File names that start with a dash can cause problems because command line utilities often interpret a leading dash as the start of an option or flag. You must use specific methods to distinguish the file name from the command options. Okay, so let's look at how to work with this. Use the // prefix. This tells the shell to look for the file in the current directory and ensures the command treats the argument as a relative path to a file, not an option. Oh, that's good to know. Interesting. Oh, we can also quote file names. Maybe we can use a quote. Okay, let's see where that gets us. Okay, so we're in here. Come on, there we go. Like I said, I always like to see what's there. Yeah, we can see the file is there. All right, let's do a long listing. That dash has reading. Okay. So let's try cat again, but this time let's try quotes and see what that does. That does nothing. And you can always hit Control C to stop it. Okay, what if I do quotes like that? Nada. Interesting. Okay. All right. So putting it in quotes didn't help us. Let's see here. Okay, let's try the other option of it said use / to denote the file. There we go. That worked. All right. So see, a simple Google search on how to work with this file gave us exactly what we needed. So we're going to copy this and we're going to put it in here. And that's the password for level 2. All right. Level 2 to level 3. Password for the next file is stored in a file called -- spaces. in this file name located in the home directory. Interesting. Okay, and it's encouraging us to Google search spaces and file names. So if we do a Google search, again, because this is all Linux based, file names can contain spaces, but when using the command line interface, you must use special handling methods. Yeah, okay, what are they? Handling methods, excuse me. Again, it's telling us to use quotes. Oh, that's good to know. Use the escape character. All right, which is the /, which you see in a lot of / is usually what you see in Windows environments. All right, let's try it. Okay, so logging in again. This is level 2, so we use Bandit 2 with the new password using SSH. All right, let's see what is in here. So we do a quick ls spaces in this file name. Okay, ls-lah, just to make sure we have the read-write permissions. Look at that. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cat, and we're gonna do / for the dashes, -- spaces, and remember we do the / in / this / file name -- Let's see what that does. Look at that. So see, we're kind of chaining together different things that we've learned before. So we knew how to do like the list of contents of the directory. We know how to use cat in order to concatenate to show what's in a file. And we already learned how to do the dot slash if there's a dash in the file name. And now we're adding a forward slash instead of a backslash to be able to denote that the space should be treated as a character and not as, a delimiter or something else in a shell command. So we're kind of chaining things together. Um, that's it for this. I just want to give you a quick intro. I want to show you over the wire Bandit. We beat level 0 because in computers, I want you to remember, and this is important to remember, things don't start at 1, things start at 0. I learned that the hard way, and then it was drilled into me when I took discrete mathematics. Great class, very important for computer sciences. But we got level 0, level 1, and we just beat level 2. Okay, so I'm going to add this password to our list, and then in the next video, we're going to continue working our way through levels 3, 4, 5, etc., just to kind of show you what this is like. But really, a Bandit, Over the Wire is a great collection of war games, and it is a great place to get started, and I highly recommend it. And I also want to show you what it's like trying to figure things out in real time.